Namaskar, Namaskar. Welcome back to another live. This is Aditya Soma. And in this channel, on this lives, I talk about real estate, how we can use the real estate as a vehicle to achieve financial freedom. So in this today's live, I would like to go over Windsor market update. Just what happened comparative to March, what happened in April, because we have now full month, April month data. So, and in the meanwhile, I would love to answer your questions. Excuse me. Any questions you have related to real estate, don't hesitate to ask. Real estate to investing, related to sales, feel free to ask, because this lives is for you. I want you to take advantage of this. Ask any questions you have. Share any thoughts you have about what's happening in the market. So with that, let me jump in. If you're new here, again, I'm a real estate investor and real estate agent, and I have a team here in Windsor, Ontario, where we do help investors, homeowners, buying, selling, investing here in Windsor, Essex. So personally, I believe in real estate for still a lot fantastic vehicle for long-term wealth building, because we have seen over the years, in a long run, real estate makes a great investment vehicle that many wealthy people believe in. So let me just share my screen here and share the data for April month, what happened in Windsor. Okay, let me pull up my screen here. And in the meanwhile, feel free to ask any questions you have in the comments below. Don't hesitate to ask any questions you have. So, because like I mentioned, this live is for you. So, hi Angie, how are you? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. Justin, cell phone number, please. Sure, I'll leave the number in the comments and the email address. Reach out to us if you need any help in Windsor, Ontario. So let me quickly pull up my screen here. Hope you can see my screen. So you all can look at the data for Windsor real estate market on this website, windsorrealestate.com, and you can go to the monthly stats. Um, you can even check how was the market in 2020, 2019, 2016. You can pull up every month in each year. So I would leave that for you. But for now, I'll just jump in the April month, just specific to what's happening right now. So if we are looking at here, just the overview of the market, we have 12% more new listings. So that means that the inventory is increasing on the market. Comparative to last year, we have like 12% more, which is a pretty good number, because the biggest challenge we've been facing, one of the reason that the prices has gone up in last few years, is because of the inventory. The inventory was pretty low. So now we are seeing that inventory is increasing. And if you look at the properties sold, the number of properties sold is decreased by 18%. So that's a significant drop in the number of sales. And I was looking at, generally we refer to the bigger cities like GTA to compare to the whole Canada wide. The GTA was down by 41% in April month stats. So that's a big, significant drop. And same thing in Windsor, it's like 18% is definitely a significant drop. Which shows me there is less buyers on the market. Again, I would definitely dive into what's holding back on many investors and first time home buyers. One of the biggest reason is the interest rates. We'll talk about that later in the live, but let me just give an overview, and then we'll go into deep dive and take your questions, answer, and also I would love to hear your feedback on what you think is going to happen in the market. Are we up for market crash? Are we in a correction? I would love to hear your thoughts. Definitely, I'll share my thoughts as well. And if we look at the average sale price, so the 692,759, which comparative to last month, we were dropped around like 5% ish, give or take. I'll show you the number. Last month, it was like 722,000, give or take, somewhere around in that range. So it's dropped by 30,000 ish comparative to last month. in Windsor Essex. So which is, but comparative to last year, we are still up by 20%. So which means, like, the from 2021 April to 2022 April, still the prices has been shoot up like by 20%, which is a significant increase. So definitely we started to see that is coming down comparative to last month. Comparative to last year, it's still up in the it's still up. So I just want to quickly run over some of the important stats that you can view here, like when you look at the full report for the last month. So the sales are down, like we mentioned. The number of sold properties, residential in specific, we are talking about the residential stats here. The last year April month was like 723 units sold. Now it's like 586. So that's definitely a good drop. And let me just pull up the full report here. So sorry, my bad. Let me click here for the full report so that you can see. Okay. Looks like I'm still on the screen. Just bear with me here. Okay, here you go. So if we look at the full month, I just want to highlight on a few things here. We talked about the sales down compared to last year, and year to date still we are down, like like total sales from January till April compared to last year, we are not that much down, because the number of sales happened in February and January were still pretty high. Just in April we started to see that down. And the average price, here's what I was mentioning earlier, the average price in March was 723, 739, whereas now this month we are at 692. So if you do the math there, the price drop has, like around 5%. So comparative to last month, just like within 1 month, there is like 5% drop. And I was looking at the Toronto data. In Toronto we are seeing around like 10% drop in the prices. So definitely we are seeing pretty good discounts, because now the sellers is coming to reality. Because of the less buyers on the market, a lot of buyers are holding on because of the interest rates fear. And in last 2 months there were like 75 basis points increase, the rates went up. So that fear, and also in June the Bank of Canada said they're very likely going to increase another 50 basis points, or maybe 75 basis points. And by end of this year, they're projecting to increase by 125 basis points to 150 basis points. So that means we can expect another 1 to 2% of increase in the rates from what we are right now. So that definitely would reduce the people, a lot of buyers, the qualification rate. So that's what I'm seeing, why we are seeing a good amount of price drops, and very less competition. And also, competitive to average year to date, average prices year to date, still we are pretty high, 31%, because last year it was only 531. So definitely people who bought last year, still they made like pretty good amount of appreciation. um, so but one thing that I want to mention here, a lot of people ask me, especially when who are looking in Windsor, what are the price ranges I can expect, what type of properties I can buy. So here's one thing I want to show this chart here: residential units sold by price ranges. So that's something very interesting one to look at. So if you're looking at to buy something in 420,000 to um, 700,000, in that range is the maximum lot of properties are selling. The price ranges are, if you look at like 133 units, 136 units are sold in between this price point. So if you're in a low price point, still there's like a lot of inventory, a lot of sales happening in that price range. So that's a quick stats that I have here. Let me look at some questions. Again, if you're joining for the first time, welcome back to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, feedback regarding, Windsor real estate in general, let me know in the comments. And also, like, which market are you guys in? Let me know in the comments where you're joining this live from. Let me know, so we can talk about that markets as well. One interesting things I was going over, what markets, pretty much most of the cities in Canada have got impacted. We are seeing similar kind of impact across Canada, except Calgary market. That's interesting to see. Like, the Calgary market, actually prices are up. So it's definitely quite interesting to see. Kitan, hey Kitan from Windsor, uh, glad you made it for the live. So, and JP, is it smart idea to invest right now in Windsor? So again, that's one thing I wanted to touch on, right? Like, so definitely, if you're a buy and hold investor, if you're looking for a cash flowing properties, definitely doesn't hurt to keep hunting for properties, because right now you can definitely find some good deals, because there is a fear in the market. When there is a lot of buyers are holding back, that means the sellers who are motivated to sell, they're not getting offers. So when they don't get offers, when you go in, number one, you have a chance to win for any price that you would like to offer, and maybe any terms, even conditions. If you, before getting a conditional offer accepted, it was one of the challenge. But now most of the properties are getting conditional offers. Even if they get one or two offers or three offers, they're still conditional offers. So that's the getting conditional offer accepted is becoming more and more normal. So that means if you're a buyer, you've been waiting for years to jump in. Now you qualify for a mortgage and you have funds available. You're in a good condition to pull a trigger on buying something, especially if you're a buy and hold investor. Maybe if you're a flipper, maybe if you're, like, just looking to buy and just do some renovations and sell, then you got to be even more careful, because the market right now is kind of softening. We can see, the prices are coming down. So that means you got to be careful on when you're getting in. So but if you're a buy and hold investor, if you can get a good discount, if you get a good property that is like solid with the fundamentals in a good location where you can definitely rent out with no question, and with the market rents, if your property makes a positive cash flow, and if you get a discount, right? Like, if you can get 10%, 15%, 20% off the market value, that means even if the market continues to goes down for another 10, 15%, still you will be in a safe side, because that will allow you to ride the wave. But at the same time, because you're a buy and hold investor, generally, if it's like a positive cash flow property, you don't have to sell. Because one cool thing with real estate, it's not like stocks where you want to liquidate if it's going down. Here you can hold, especially if you have a cash flow coming in. I haven't sold any of my properties, because personally my goal is to have a financial freedom through real estate, which means I want to have a cash flow. So if I have a cash flowing property, um, then I will just buy and hold. I'll just keep it, mm, continue to rent, because my goal is to own it for next 20 years, and let the tenants pay for the mortgage and let the property get paid out. So I have a free and clear property end of 2020, end of 20 years, 25 years. Now, like, for after that, like, it's complete cash flow, complete income is my cash flow. So that's kind of my strategy. That's what I'm looking at. So Josh here from Edmonton, waiting for your Calgary video. Hey Josh, I know, sorry. Definitely, I've been looking seriously into Calgary as well. What are you seeing in Edmonton? How is your experience in Calgary market and Edmonton market? What do you think happening there? How do you feel? Let me know in the comments, because I'm definitely pretty seriously looking into Calgary, just to understand how the market. Because one thing I realized in Calgary, because it's still affordable market, where I'm seeing a brand new detached homes for like 600, 650, which is like here in Ontario, you cannot get anything under probably like, a brand new detached home under 900 million is still tough. So basically, it's still what do you call, it's still unaffordable for new constructions, whereas like in Calgary and Edmonton, which is possible. So that's what I've been seeing. um, but yeah, uh, Awad Patel, hey, how can I meet you personally? Please reach out to me. I have the phone number and email address in the chat. Definitely, my assistant will, schedule a call either with me or my team, depending on the schedule. We can make it out. Kush, share a bit about Toronto market as well. So I was just mentioning, Toronto, definitely we are seeing actually similar trends where there is a lot of inventory. The inventory is going up, and the sales are down by 41%, and the average home price has dropped around like 10% in last 2 months. So that's a pretty significant drop, if just in 2 months, right? But like, comparative to last year, it's still up. But again, it's an interesting time period because a lot of especially the big banks, all the six big banks are predicting the interest rates will go up. So it's personally, I feel like this is kind of a correction which has been due for a while, because the price increase of like 30% in a year is unheard nowhere in the history. It's like, 30% increase is like a lot of increase. That's like, we never have seen that in before. So that happened due to the inflation, due to COVID. A lot of things happened just at once, and now the banks are trying to fight the inflation by increasing the interest rates. So because of the increase in the interest rates, and not only increasing the interest rates pretty quickly, because they just increased a month ago, and now they're planning to increase in next month. So the rapid increase is creating the fear in buyers. So I feel that's kind of was putting pressure on the buyers. But at the same time, like, if you're a buyer, if you've been waiting to look, maybe just get a pre-approval. A lot of big five banks or six banks, they are giving an approval, condition upon appraisals with a locked in rate, so you can lock up a rate. So then you can continue to shop if you get a good deal, especially if you're getting a discount and plus the property makes positive cash flow, then you could jump in. So let me take on some questions here. Josh, here from Edmonton, waiting for your Calgary. I'll be relocating to Windsor to work under your mentorship as a realtor. Josh, sure, definitely reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to talk to you. Thank you for answering. Mohammed, hi Aditya, is there any student rentals available now or near future up to 200K? So I was looking at the data. At least the detached residential homes in Windsor, as of now, I don't see anything sold under 300,000. No residential properties. But if it's like 300 to 400, there are some properties are getting available nowadays. But under 300 is I haven't seen, unless if it continues, if the inventory continue to raise, and if people continue to hold up, because right now there is a lot of fear in buyers. So if that fear continues to hold up because of the interest rates, maybe we might see in future. But as of now, under 200 is a pretty tough, except probably, I think, here, if I go back to this chat here, let me quickly jump back to show you what sold. So in this chart, if you look at here, the under 200, there were 16 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1. So these are the residential units. That doesn't mean that they're detached homes. Mostly the ones sold under 300, what I have seen is they are condos or lots that are sold under that price. Let me see if I can pull up some metrics here where I can show you what sold. Let me quickly try to give you guys an synopsis on what sold. Okay, here I think I can do that. So Stop sharing, share screen. Okay, here. So this is where the realtors have access to. So let me show you guys what sold in last 30 days. So I pull up like, sold data between from 0 to 30 days sales. And if we look at detached, so this is, I'm under residential. So I'm just selecting residential detached, Windsor Essex. So Windsor La Salle Tecumseh is the, and prices under 300 minus. So if I look at detached under 300, there were four matches. So only four properties sold in last 30 days that were under 300. And if we look at, let's quickly just look at the properties that are sold, right? So this one sold for 270. Pretty sure that property is like, in a very rough shape. Surprisingly, this one is a pretty decent condition. Just a lot of stuff in there. Of course, need the flooring, attic room, a little bit rough here. You need a nice flooring, a short, small basement, older furnace. So definitely need a some work, but again, you can get something. So this is 270,000, and let's look at the other properties. What sold? So 280,000. Nice brick house actually. So this was impossible a month ago, but now nice brick house for 280,000. A detached home, pretty clean actually, pretty clean. So this is what shows me like, there are, if the sellers are motivated, pretty clean kitchen, I would buy this property for 280. um Pretty decent condition. Looks like how many bedrooms here? One bedroom, one bath, a smaller home but decent sized lot, like 40 by regular. From the pictures looks like a decent let's see the backyard. Yeah, pretty good size, like decent size lot. You got a detached home, a smaller house, like one bedroom, one bath, like nice brick for a retired couple. So that shows me probably the seller was motivated and they want to get out. They sold it. So the right now three, actually, when I looked at a couple of weeks ago, there was nothing. So now you can see some properties. I don't know why the same property was posted for 286, or maybe a different one. Another one is for 295, 292, three bedroom, one bath. Probably you can see all the windows are gone. Oh, there is solar panel, some income from solar panel as well, but looks pretty rough from outside. Inside, not too bad, not too bad. Need a new kitchen, maybe some flooring. Decent sized lot, probably 40 by 90. Not too bad, 290. So again, that's just to give you an idea, right? Like what you can get under 300. There are four properties sold. So if that's your budget, probably you can look around. You can, this is someone asking in student rental area. This is like 9249 Curry. This is around university. If you look at the map, here's where the university is. This is where the university is. I don't know if you guys can see the map here. Probably it only allow me to show one screen. Yeah, it's pretty much a close to university area. So it's doable. It's possible that under 300, maybe you might be able to see more of this in coming month or so, if this fear continues to keep up. So moving on to the next question, Krish. I realize that townhomes are still same, but detached houses are going down in GTA area. Yeah, possible, because detached are higher price range, right? Like still semi-detached or townhomes are a little bit lower price point. So definitely the higher price points one are getting hit because the interest rate goes up. That means the affordability of a buyer is going down by like X percentage. They're like, you have to qualify for right now like 5.2%. So that's how they change, right? Like, so Interesting to see. And what do you guys think is market? What are you guys seeing in your market? What do you think would happen to the market? Because by no means I'm not an expert to say 100%. This is going to happen, because I have no crystal ball to say the market is going to drop or market is going to keep up. Um, and here someone was asking, think rich, hi Aditya, are you buying or waiting? So actually, I made an offer on a 8 unit building just 3 days ago, because I'm still buying, buy and hold. I want to make sure, one thing I want to make sure is, I'm getting like 5-10% discount at least, if possible 15-20% discount from the market value, so that I don't mind. And also the properties I'm buying is where I know that my property will be at least breaking even or positive cash flow, as is when I bought it. And if there is room for me to improve the units and increase the rents, so that I have a market rents, and if the market rents has a positive cash flow, I would like to add on that prediction of 1% increase to my calculation. So if 1% or 1.5% or even 2%, if I can still break even or positive cash flow at 2%, then I'm still looking for those kind of deals. So because personally, I believe in buy and hold. The market will be correcting along the way, but over the period of 10-20 years, I believe we will be doing well, because the mortgage is getting paid down, and that's where guaranteed returns. The appreciation is not the guaranteed return. If you've been following me, most of the videos, I don't really talk about the appreciation. Appreciation is just a bonus, because a bonus will be there sometimes. Personally, I would say most of us got lucky who invested 3-4 years ago, because the appreciation that happened in last 3-4 years, first of all, at the first place, shouldn't have happened. So honestly, if you go watch my old videos, when I first bought, I never talked about appreciation. I bought the properties with the prediction of the cash flow. Is my property can my property cash flow? If my property cash flows, then and can I improve the property, and can I pull my equity out in 6 months or 1 year? If I can do that, and if I can have a property cash flowing after I pull my money out, then I would still I don't have to think about the market up and downs. Because if you look at any stock, a blue chip company stocks, over the period, even though they drop up or down, same thing with real estate, they go up and down, but over the period, most likely from the historic data, we can say they will go up, over the period, over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years period. But even if it doesn't go up, even if my mortgage pays down, I did a math. I actually did a video on this one in the past. Like, if you do a math, like let's say you bought a property for 500,000, now you invested 100,000 into it, and you're making positive, like just a positive $100 or $200, let's say. um, just considering the mortgage pay down after 20 years or 25 years, just your returns of, because your mortgage has got paid down, so you leverage others people money, the bank's money, 80% of the bank's money. And by end of that 20 years, 25 years, if you do the math, you put 100,000 and 100,000 turned into 500,000. If you do the math, like it's like you're making over 12 or 13% return on your money, which is like pretty decent comparative to S&P 500, pretty close to S&P 500 and all those things. And that is like not adding the cash flow, not adding the appreciation. So cash flow and the appreciation is like a cream on top. And all the cash flow that I'm making from the properties, I just save up in the account, because for unforeseen, unexpected things, like in real estate, always, unlike stocks, in real estate, you can always expect a roof can be, you need to change the roof, or you need to change the furnace or AC. Something breaks down, or a tap full water leak, you have to fix it. So that's what I would do. And also, like one thing, a common question I got in recent times, especially with this interest rate hikes, hey Aditya, how can I protect myself? I own a couple of properties, or one property or two properties. I'm worried about the interest rate because I'm on variable. If you don't have a fixed, if you're on variable, I'm worried that what if the interest rate goes up? And that's exactly why I always talk, you have to have at least a saved up 10 to 20,000 per property. at least depends on the price of your property. If it's like under 500,000 property, I would definitely keep a 10 to 20,000 set aside for that particular property, because of unforeseen things could happen in real estate like this, the interest rates. So that's my thought in there. um, Moving on to the next question here. Awad, you recently made a video about 850K semi-detached bungalow, new pre-construction house in Windsor, Essex region. The realtor said that it can be bought for 40K down payment. How is that possible, not 55K? So good question. Actually, that townhome, that semi-detached homes are still available. A pre-construction project, which means you're not closing the property right now. So the deposit structure for that property is you have to pay 40,000 down, not the down payment, the deposit, because down payment is different. The deposit you're paying to the builder. So you're not closing the property when you paid the deposit. Deposit is just the builder holding it. So the deposit is 40K, and the closing for that semi-detached is 1 year from now. They're projecting the closing is like in February or March next year, approximately 1 year. So at the time of closing, that's when you need to get a mortgage. So that's when you have to go for the bank and ask for a mortgage. And then based on what your qualification is, if you're buying for primary use, maybe you can qualify for 5 to 10% down. If you're putting, let's say, 10%, so 850,000, 10% of it, maybe you might be able to qualify even for 7-8%, depend. There is some calculation. First 500,000, 5%, which is 25,000, plus the next whatever the amount, which is 350K, which is 35,000. So did the calculation on 55 60,000 is the down payment if you're buying for your primary purpose. So then you put the 55 down. So to put the 55 60,000 from the calculations we just did, 35 for the next, and 525. So 35 plus 25, 660,000. So minus, you already paid 40,000 to the builder at the beginning, so that goes towards your down payment. So that means you have to come up with another 20,000 at the time of closing and get the mortgage approval from the bank, so the bank will give you the rest of the money. Or if you're buying it as an investment property, then you have to put 20% down. So that means 20% of 850K. Help me out here with the calculation. So 800, which is 160,000. So 170,000 is what you need to put down payment if it's an investment property. So 170,000 minus 40,000, because 40,000 you already paid. At that time, you need 130,000 at the closing time. So you got all this 10 months, 12 months to save up that extra down payment. So at the time of closing, that's when you need the total remaining down payment. So the 40,000 is the deposit for the builder. The down payment is at the time of closing. Hope you understand that. If you still have any questions, let me know. Moving on to the next question here. Bhima Arjun, big fan of your investment skills. Thank you, brother. Glad to hear that. Okay. What's your opinion about Sarnia market, Vishwant? So again, I haven't looked too much into Sarnia, but I know Sarnia a little bit, because that was the first city I came to. They came for my studies. So Sarnia is a little bit smaller city. Like Windsor is like over 400,000, right? Whereas Sarnia is like around 100,000 population. So it's smaller city. There is Lambton College, and I believe St. Clair College. So two colleges. Other than that, like it's still a border city as well for Michigan, not as close as the Detroit. Like Detroit is literally next to Windsor. So and personally, I have seen with the ripple effect from bigger cities, in Windsor also you can find cash flowing properties. But personally, I like Windsor comparative to Sarnia, because the price ranges are not a big difference, but whereas the population growth in Windsor is much more higher than Sarnia, and Windsor has a lot more new job opportunities are opening up because of the Detroit coming up. And in Windsor also, like the EV plant and different things happening. and a lot of the new bridge construction, mega hospital proposal, that not proposal, it's already in the stage 2, I believe. So a lot of things in Windsor I love. So when the price points are pretty similar and there is more less vacancy compared to Sarnia. So personally I love Windsor, but again, I'm not an expert about Sarnia area. That's just like a brief nutshell of my thought process. That's why I never purchased anything in Sarnia. So yeah, moving on to the next question here. Think rich. Yeah, we all have to think rich. Think and Grow Rich. Love that book. That's one of my favorite book. Can you please explain population growth and jobs in Windsor? So, one of the thing is Windsor was not like a strong in terms of job market, because Windsor still dependent heavily on the automotive industry. But with the recent boom in electrical vehicle, that is creating more jobs in Windsor, and a lot of construction jobs, lot of construction, lot of requirement for labor here is growing. And on top of it, what I have seen in recent years is like the people who have an option to work from home, and a lot of companies are allowing for work from home options, also like moving towards Windsor. So that's also positive. And also job growth in Detroit is impacting positively, because the Canadians who has Canadian passport, if they can find a job in Canada, in US, they can work there. Like a lot of nurses I know, they I have probably at least a few clients who are nurses, and also few clients who have a H1 visa. They moved here on PR, so they're working in Detroit and living here. So there are a lot of people like that who work in Detroit. So the work in Detroit is growing, so that's impacting positively on Windsor as well. So it's getting better. It's not that great, but it's definitely improving slowly. That's what I noticed. And population growth is the biggest part. Like when I came to Canada, brand new, which is like 2014, there was like one desi restaurant, like Indian restaurant, and that was also not even Indian restaurant, it was a Bangladeshi restaurant. And they used to call like biryani, it was not really biryani. So again, because there was not that many people here, again, I'm just talking from what my observation, right? Like the immigrants population has drastically increased in last like 6 7 years. Drastically, in the sense, like if you go just put on Google a map, just search for like Indian restaurants, you'll see like 10 of them, whereas before there was not even one. So without the demand, those restaurants would not open. And even when at that time, when I was new, I could not see desi people that much, right? Like because it's my community. I look at that as a stats, where now wherever I go, I can see out of 10 people, probably two or three are like from India or Bangladesh or Pakistan, or Arabs. So a lot of immigrants have or been moving to Windsor. And along the way, like the university and St. Clair College also contributed a lot of international students also been moving here. So yeah, definitely the growth is happening. I can see that. That's my personal thoughts here. Moving on to the next question. Seems like these are all temporary. Best time to be in the market. That's what I personally believe in, because overall, if you look at the unemployment rate, it's still low. The employment is pretty strong. Like the employers are not able to find employees. That's the problem now. It's not the other way around. So that means people do have money. It's just the fear that is impacting, the fear of the interest rates going up, fear of the market will go down. So a lot of people are holding back instead of buying. So I feel this is the times where just like in when the COVID first hit in Toronto, there was like I think 10% or 12% drop in the prices for like over 2 months or 3 months. And same thing in 2008 when the real estate crash happened. Pretty much like in Toronto, I think there was like 15 to 20% drop, and stayed for like 8 months or 1 year. So and especially with the Canada projection of bringing more people in, like almost 1.2 million for next 3 years. Personally, and with the economy being strong, still, like, yes, the inflation rate, they're fighting the inflation rate, but the unemployment rate is pretty low. So personally, I feel, it's a correction, because the first of all, the rates that increased because of the COVID, because of the spendings that government has spent, like the money they spent on all these programs to give money for to support the families who lost jobs because of the COVID, and the small businesses who lost business because of the COVID. They pumped in a lot of money, which is, like, definitely causing impact on the inflation. So overall, that is causing these interest rates to go up. But the demand, eventually, once the fear is over, once the interest rates, if you look at the what rates we are in now, even with the increases, this rate is still an average rate compared to 3-4 years ago. It was a similar rate. But at that time, we didn't look at that seriously, because the rates keep on going down. But now, because it's going up, now people are scared. So personally, until it becomes like normalized, like until the bank stops increasing, and then that becomes like a normal rate, like let's say 7%. They were talking, like, the rates will be around like 5 to 7% in that range. uh, Once that becomes normalized, probably we have to see at least a soften, like a stable market, like just probably it might not go as crazy like we have seen last few years. Probably we should see like a more like a straight line or less slight growth instead of this crazy highs. So personally, I believe that could happen in next year or so, within, like, in this year or two, like once the rates become stabilized, that's when we might see. So that's my thought. Kush, thank you for adding that thoughts there. Moving on to the next question here. And also, by the way, we have a small giveaway for all, to thank you guys, because now we hit a 20,000 subscribers list here. So I thought, I'll do a small giveaway for people supporting me on this journey. So you could win the earbuds that helps you to listen to a lot of podcasts or watch my videos. So I have the link in the chat. Make sure click that link and leave a comment what financial freedom means to you. It's also on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, please do so. It's my full name, like you see the channel name, Aditya Kumar Soma. If you search on the Instagram, you will see that. So make sure go click that and leave a comment. So we will be announcing on 26th on this live who is the winner. So we'll give away that just a small token of appreciation for you guys, to say thank you for supporting me along this journey. Because without you guys, it's not this fun, if without the support. So I really enjoyed putting out this content. Definitely got a lot of positive feedback along the way for last few years. The feedback I have got from people who got benefited, in terms of mindset, in terms of taking actions. I'd say thank you so much, guys. Please don't forget to hit that link in the comments. Go click that link and leave a comment. What do you think financial freedom means to you? So the best answer will win the earbuds. Okay, moving on to the next question here. Rana, I think there is no reason for the market going up. It's slowing down for next 2 to 3 years. Yeah, I think, Rana, that's what we were just talking. Probably, I personally believe like 1 year maybe or so. But again, that's what I think. So it has to soften. It has to smooth out, because personally, I don't believe this is a crash, because if we are in crash, then people would be suffering from loss of jobs and all those things. Definitely it's a correction, I feel. Yeah, the correction could take sometimes a year, sometimes two, sometimes three. And when the correction happens, that's the time I believe that's where we will be able to find good opportunities, especially if you're a buy and hold investor who wants to build wealth for you and your family, and achieve the financial freedom. So moving on to the next question here. Kazir, hi Aditya. What do you think about house price will decrease in near future in Windsor region due to the increase in interest rates? Some financial gurus are expecting recession in future, etc. Again, I was just explaining my thoughts on, yes, I believe in next couple of months, few months, definitely we might see a decrease in prices, because there is more interest rates hike coming in, with the prediction of 125 basis points to 150 basis points increase by end of this year. Could definitely impact, would definitely decrease in the prices, because the 30% increase in 1 year is crazy for last year. So that has to come to normalize. Same thing, right? Like for last 3 or 4 years, all across, not only just Windsor, all across Ontario, most of the cities has to stabilize, so has to smooth out. But regarding recession, I don't know. Personally, I don't see the signs of recession, because the recession means like people are buying just stupidly anything. Because right now in the market, people are not. For example, in 2008, the reason the recession happened at that time is because people were able to buy anything without qualifying properly, and who could not even afford. They don't know what they're buying into. They're just buying because their neighbor has bought a property. And again, in Canada, the bank requirements are pretty tight comparative to US market, and the immigration population, the immigration projection is still there. The demand is still coming. And also on top of it, the employers are having hard time to get the employees, not the other way around, where that means the employment rate is pretty strong, unemployment rate is pretty low. So again, who knows if the interest rates continue to go up, if the small businesses have hard time to pay that in their loans or any business expenses they have because of the interest rates, and if they start laying off employees, then we might see that could trigger a crash. But again, as of now, personally, I haven't seen that kind of signs. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. That's my personal thoughts, right? Like, by no means I'm not a guru or an expert, to say this is surely going to happen. I'm just one of you, curious about the market to see what's going to happen. One thing I can tell for sure, if you're learning about real estate keenly, if you're watching out the market keenly, and if you're understanding the main fundamentals, then definitely you'll find opportunities. Because the old saying, the market corrections or recessions made more millionaires than the regular markets. So definitely we got to be sitting tight and learning more, and maybe not going crazy aggressive in making offers, but definitely looking into what's happening, definitely still taking actions on doing the analyzing the deals, if the numbers make sense, and if you're getting a pretty good deal, jumping in, especially if you're a buy and hold investor. So I feel still the opportunities will be presenting more and more, in my opinion, for investors. So yeah, I'm curious to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? And also, by the way, the link is in in the chat, Instagram giveaway link. Make sure to click that and leave a comment there. It's just a simple a giveaway process. It's you follow the instructions there. What do you think about financial freedom means to you? Leave a comment. The best comment will win the giveaway. Sham, which website is this? Where are you showing the house details? That's a realtor's access. It's a metrics. Only realtors have access to. I think Zillow and other webs, realtor.ca. You might not be able to see all the data. Only realtors have, good or bad, I don't know. But in Canada, only realtors can see full data of this market sales. Moving on to the next. Think rich. I'm from BC. If I want to buy in Windsor, how can I manage my rental property? Very good question. So managing, again, if you're a smart investor, you just need to find a smart investor focused realtor or real estate team here. who owns properties, who have a who has connections with other property management companies. So one of the best way, personally, I don't manage my own properties even though I live in Windsor, because I work with a property management company, and you have to manage them. So that's a sad part, that you have to manage them. But good part is you don't have to run around, you don't have to be in person. You just make sure, with the technology that we have available, you can monitor everything, you can verify everything. Just hire the right people, hire good people, good property management company. um, then you should be good. Just keep managing them every month, make sure what they're sending, you're verifying everything. Make sure, if they're doing every 6 weeks, 6 months, an inspection on the property, make sure you get the pictures, inspect, make sure they're in a good condition, all the things are working fine. So that if you do that, you should be doing fine in managing your rent properties. Moving on to the next question. Awad, awesome. Thank you for the explanation. Another question. How can I work for you for free to learn things around real estate? I'm motivated and I can use 10 to 20 hours a week. That's a tough question, bro. Send us an email. Send us an email with your resume. What is your skills? How can you help us? Because as of now, to be honest, like, I'm not looking to hire anyone new. But if you see there is something that you can help us, because I have a team. I have, like, admins and different people who are helping me out on different things. But if you see there is something that you can bring onto the table, put it in the description, and in an email. Maybe send me a video clip with a 1 minute or 2 minutes explaining on what your skills, how can you help me, um, so that you can learn a lot more. So yeah, thank you. I love the spirit. Mm, When I was like brand new, didn't know anything, uh, I asked many investors, hey, can I work for you in the weekends, work for free, just help you with this, that. And I used to help my friends and mentors. Actually, I have a video coming up about one of my best friends in the business, who became best friends after, but initially they were my mentors. And my realtor and mortgage person who helped me, like, in the first 4 properties until I got my license. She was my realtor, Cassidy Loxon and Matt Andrew. And they actually, I used to help them here and there, and learn a lot from them. So definitely that's that attitude is the best way to learn a lot. And also I have this video coming up about their story, because they are pretty cool. Like, they're at 28 years old now. They started real estate when they're 20. Now they're achieved the financial freedom. They're traveling, like, they have traveled over 20 countries. They're millionaires already. And they're not even Windsor for last 2 years. They've been traveling different countries, living in different areas, doing a lot of fun activities, while they built real estate portfolio, while they made the real estate vehicle has a that helped the real estate as a vehicle to help them to achieve that financial freedom. And there, not many people get a chance, or takes a chance to live that freedom life. So that video is coming up, and I once the video is up, I'll have them on the live as well. So stay tuned for that video. How a young couple achieved financial freedom. So good attitude, keep it up. Grush, do student rentals generate income all year or only during school year, September to May? Again, generally, personally, I have 2 duplexes that I rented for students. Generally, I do 1 year leases. I don't do 8 months. And generally, the students are fine with that. At least in Windsor, they are fine with 1 year lease, because, if they have to move out, now they have to come back and find another place. So generally, they pay for that even the summertime. But definitely, yes, if you have a vacant unit, finding a tenant during the summer is a little bit challenging. Moving on to the next question. AB, what are the main things you consider when you buy old homes? Do you still buy if a house has a water leakage, mold in over all the places? So, very good question. It depends on, right? Like, if the property makes sense, I did definitely buy the properties in the past, with the water leaks, with the mold. because definitely there is a solution for it. You have to account for the numbers. If the numbers make sense, right? Like if you're buying the property at, let's say, X price, and if you have to invest X plus let's say 30,000 or 40,000, and after that you can refinance and still positive cash flow, then why not? But the question is, do you have, and do you know people, or can you find people who can fix those issues, and do you have money to fix those issues? That's what I would look into. So I did purchase and I did fix those issues in the past, and which is, when you look at in a bigger scheme of game, those issues are not that hard to fix. The water leak, probably you have to do the waterproofing all over from outside. If you do it from outside, probably, if it's like a, let's say, a 1,200 square feet house, probably it would cost you 12, 13,000 to do a waterproofing outside the house. So if you're getting that discount already on the price, that maybe more, then why not, right? So same thing with the mold. It would cost you, depends on how many areas you have the mold and what is the cost for the issue. If you have inspected the property, exactly what the issue is, and how much would it cost, and you're capable of taking on, then why not? So that's my take on there. Moving on to the next question. Wow, I just realized it's already like 7:57. The time passed by when I do these lives. Guys, thank you so much for keeping this, interactive, and sharing your thoughts and asking for questions. So, one of the best way I believe in anything, any industry, if you want to learn and grow, is by asking. At least maybe I might not have all the answers, but at least I'll do my best to share what I know, and maybe other people in the chat can help you with those questions as well. So glad to see that. Hey Aditya, saw your video on pros and cons of becoming a real estate agent. Just wanted to know, how did you find your mentor after you got your real estate license? Can you share your explanation? So Sharon, I was just talking about my mentor. Actually, the realtor who got me into the investing, she was my realtor until I got my license. She helped me buy and sell 4 or 5 properties by then. And literally, she was my mentor after I started the business. And she helped me for like 6 months or so, and then she left the country. By then, I was in a pretty standing condition. And also, like, with the exp, I had sponsors. So I had one of my sponsor who is very well established realtor in US, and also brokers. And exp has like a lot of training on the cloud. So all this, like, mentors, like my mentor from US, he helped me with the YouTube. And my mentor Cassidy Loxon, she helped me with the sales, a lot of things, especially in the beginning. And my brokers, they were also like always available for me to answer any questions I have. Like, one cool thing with our brokerage, the exp reality, they have a lot of support, like, support in different forms. Like, they have a paid employees on the broker channel. Like, you can go just on your computer and talk to, if you have any questions related to transaction, there's a transaction team. If you have any questions related to financing, we pay stops or anything, there's a team there. So there are like a lot of people, a lot of help. So I never had any issue on that. So, but I would consider, like, my main mentor was my realtor before I got my license. So you got to make connections, right? Like, so if you're getting your license and you want to find a mentor, probably you got to, maybe, if you're totally brand new, maybe join a team. If you join a team, like I joined, actually, my realtor's team. So I was part of her team. Wincity was started by her, and then she left and I took over after she left. So initially, like, if you join a team, that could also, you'll get a lot of support. I have new realtors in my team, like, Gary, Clark. They started as a brand new agents. Now they're selling like 4, 5, 6 properties a month. Harsha, Deepu, so, the new agent, he's the new recently, I took over Deepu. He was like part of another big brokerage in Windsor, where in 7 months he only sold like 7 properties. And he came over to Wincity, and last month he was the rock star of the month. He sold like 4 properties in 1 month, just in the last 1.5. He has been only with me for 1.5 months. So because now he got a lot more support, lot more mentorship, so that definitely would help. So find a team in the area you're in, not just some random one. See who is like really good in helping, who has a success track record, who you can see their agents are already successful. They're making 4, 5, 6, 7 sales a month. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Also, do you provide real estate agent mentorship? Unfortunately, I don't do the paid mentorships, but if you join EXP and through me, because the EXP is kind of a very unique structure. No matter which city you're in, you can still like join EXP through me. I'm as a sponsor, then you will still get my mentorship. I do have like there are a couple of people joined EXP from like Toronto, even in Windsor somewhere. They're not part of my Evin City team, but they're still like my uh, EXP sponsorship, like like a MLM company. You have like people who are like sponsors. So in that sponsor chain, like everyone is kind of willing to help you. So that way definitely will provide help in that sense. So wow, it's already like 8:06. So probably I'll take another one or two questions and we'll call it a day. Thank you guys. Always like just keeping this lives very interactive. And make sure click the link in the giveaway. Click the link for the giveaway, Instagram giveaway link. It's in the chat. Make sure to click on it. If you're watching this, you cannot see the link, then go on to my Instagram, Aditya Kumar Soma. Make sure you follow, and there you will see the second post or third post, 20K subscribers giveaway. So click that post, leave a comment. You will be qualified to get a chance to win a giveaway. And last month, we give away books, my favorite 3 books. And before last month, we did a giveaway for a 1 hour session with me. So I've been having fun with these giveaways. I really enjoy this because that's my ways to say thank you for you guys to help me achieve my financial freedom. Because honestly, I believe in the gratitude. Because of you guys, I was able to achieve what I want. So this is my way of giving back as much as possible. um, Dennis, I wonder if the proximity to Detroit affects the Windsor security, since the Detroit is one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Ooh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I never felt Windsor is danger. I never felt that. Definitely, there are a couple of pockets in Windsor, where like core downtown Ford City, where you can see some, some junkies, who are like on drugs, homeless shelters around that area, where you'll see some houses, if there are no people living there, windows are broken, those kind of things. But the from the crime point of view, Windsor is pretty like pretty safe in my opinion. I lived in the downtown areas too. I never felt unsafe. Like I lived in most of those areas. I never felt like that security point of the Detroit culture impacted on Windsor. I don't think so. Okay, so that's okay. Last question. Okay, sure. I'll take the last question. A property like your first one that you got for 100K on April 1st, 2007. Actually, it's March 1st, 2017. So, how much should something like that be bought in today's market? Something like that, probably you're looking around 500, 550 in that range. A duplex. 500, 550 range. Because don't forget, at that time the rents are very low. So when I bought, like at that time, I rented my 3 bedroom for 1100. Now the same 3 bedroom would rent for like 15, 1600. So the rents are gone up. And then still, like even at 400, 500, a duplex still possible in Windsor, like 500, 600, maybe 400, depends on what condition or what size. In that price range, the duplexes are possible. Especially if you're a first time home buyer. No matter what happens to the market, right? You move into one unit, rent out the other unit. If the other unit is paying at least majority of your expenses, hey, even if the interest rate goes up by 1%, right? Like, can you still, you have someone paying your mortgage. And if you can add another unit, or if you can add an extra bedrooms, if you can increase the property value, force appreciate it. So now even you're riding the wave. So yeah, that's my thoughts there. With that, thank you so much, guys. make sure to click that giveaway. And also, just one last announcement. I got some. We might have some Calgary pre-construction projects coming in, so send us an email. I'll leave an email in the comments. Just as send a subject like pre-construction Calgary. We will keep you in the loop when we have a project coming in. I'm talking to a couple of good realtor friends there, so they're asking me to help them to sell some of the condos, because condos and townhomes and detached homes for like under 500. Condos starting from like townhomes starting from like 350. Brand new, probably closing like 1 year 2 years down the road. So if anyone interested in those pre-constructions, make sure send us an email. Just in the subjects say pre-construction Calgary, so that way we will send you an email as soon as we have the full details. So with that, thank you so much. And also, if you need any help in Windsor, Ontario, Windsor, Essex, don't hesitate to reach out to us, buying, selling, and anyone. If you want to have any conversation one-on-one with me or my team, send us an email or give us a call. More than happy to help you guys. With that, go kill it. Have a wonderful day. Have a good night.